Hi, welcome to another IELTS writing video. Today we're looking at how to start sentences in your letter. This is for the General Task 1 portion of the written exam. If you find this video helpful, I encourage you to visit my website at IELTSIELTS.com. Typically, a letter is written in 5 parts. There is an initial greeting, followed by a paragraph which states the purpose of the letter, followed by another paragraph which goes over the details of the purpose of the letter. The fourth part is another paragraph which states a request or what the writer would like to see happen as a result of this letter. And the final part is a sign-off where the writer sort of says goodbye. So today I was hoping we could just go over a few ways that we can write the various parts of a letter. So firstly, in a greeting, we can always start with something like "Dear," which is usually used for a letter that is being written on friendly terms. So for example, if we were writing to complain about something, we probably would not choose "Dear." "Dear" would be for maybe our friend, so "Dear Stephen." Or if we're writing to a company but we have something positive to say, we might write "Dear such and such bookstore," "Dear so and so restaurant," on friendly terms. Now, in the event that we need to address a company and if the tone of our letter is perhaps a little bit serious or even a complaint, we would start with something like "To the management of," and then whatever company. And of course you can replace management with whatever entity fits best. So if you were asked to write "To the manager," you could write "To the manager of," and then whatever company, or "To the president of," or "To the owner of," perhaps if you're writing a letter to somebody who owns something. Now sometimes we are not completely sure who we are writing to. And in cases like this, we would write "To whom it may concern," and then comma. So "To whom it may concern," and then we would start the second portion, the purpose. Okay, now when it comes to the purpose portion of our letter, which is a paragraph, we need to state clearly why we are writing to this person. So in the event that this is a friendly letter, we might say to our friend, "I hope you have been keeping well," or "I hope this letter finds you in good health. So these phrases would start the purpose section if we are writing to a friend. Now, if we are writing to a company, we would probably be a bit more direct and would get directly to the purpose itself. And so this would be written as, I am writing to you regarding, and then in here we would include a noun of some kind. So I am writing to you regarding a problem I had, or regarding an urgent matter. Okay, now following this, we might include some kind of sentence, such as, allow me to describe the situation for you. Now the verb describe, you can change that to allow me to perhaps recreate the situation for you. So, if you're writing to your friend, you might write something like, I hope you have been keeping well. I am writing to you regarding your party next week. And then you would go on to the next section, the detail section. However, if you're writing to a company or you're writing to somebody on a more serious matter, you would probably start with, I am writing to you regarding a problem I had with your product. Allow me to recreate the situation for you. And then you would go on to your detail section. So, now when we get to the third section, which is the second paragraph in our letter, here we're trying to recreate the details or to describe the details of our letter. So, now this, we would probably start with time. So if we were talking about a situation we had, we might say, last week, if it's something bad that happened, I unfortunately, and then whatever. Or we might start this section with something like, I am happy to inform you that. So for example, if our friend invites us to a party, we might state something like, I am happy to inform you that I am able to attend your party next week, or whatever. Or I was hoping you could share some insight as to whether I should. Now this is in the case that you're asked to write a letter requesting some advice from somebody. So you might start with, I was hoping you could share some insight as to whether I should move to London or not, or whether I should pursue a career in biology or whatever. Okay, so a few ways to start the details portion of your letter. Now let's go on to the fourth part of the letter, which is the request part. This is the third paragraph in the letter, and typically you will need to request something. So if you're writing a letter of complaint, you would be requesting some action. If you were writing a letter to a friend, depending on the situation, of course, this might not entirely be a request. This might be, you know, kind of a little bit of preamble before your sign-off. So perhaps if we were writing about a party, we're telling our friend that we can come to the party, we might write, you know, our feeling or our excitement about being able to see them next week or whatever. So now here we would start our sentences something like, I would be grateful if you could, then something. I would be grateful if you could find time to answer my questions. I would be grateful if you could get back to me as soon as possible on this matter. I would be grateful if you could look into why my television is not working. Whatever the situation is, you just plug it in here. I would be grateful if you could, and then state a verb and what you need to happen. Now, in the event that we are unhappy or even angry, we need to use some stronger language than this. So we would say something like, I expect immediate action to be taken on your side to resolve this issue. Okay, let's go over that sentence again. So, I expect immediate action to be taken on your side to resolve this issue. So here we are using language that is a bit more forceful. We're expecting the other side to do something because they have done something wrong. Now, if we used a sentence like this in a friendly letter, it would be inappropriate. This is too strong. But in a letter of complaint, this would be the right tone. Okay, so here are some sentences that you can use there. Now, the final part is your sign-off. And I usually see students using things like sincerely, yours truly, these sorts of sign-offs, which are fine. But this is an area that you can also demonstrate your language skills to your examiner. So instead of using just the typical sincerely, which if your examiner is correcting letters, they're going to see the same thing 50 times, so they're not going to think it's special if you write sincerely. Everybody else is writing it. You could try something like, if you're saying goodbye to a friend, maybe something like looking forward to your reply, and then comma, and then you go to the next line and write your name. So looking forward to your reply. Maybe I'll just take this out of the bracket 1 second here. Looking forward to your reply, Ryan, like that. Or, let's try another one. Hoping to hear back from you soon, comma. Again, this is something that's perhaps a little bit more friendly, or maybe a minor issue, nothing too major. This would not be a letter of complaint where we are very angry. These are a little bit too friendly. Now, in the event that, say, we're writing about something, we feel passionate about it, and we're upset that something has been done that has made us unhappy, and we want them to do something about it, we might sign off with something like expecting prompt action, comma. So, for example, if I had purchased a snowmobile, and 2 days after I purchased my snowmobile, it breaks down, and I take it back to the store, and I'm told, that the warranty is not going to cover the repair of my snowmobile. So I'm upset. I write a letter to the head of the company, and I might conclude with expecting prompt action, which just means I'm hoping that they're going to do something very quickly about it, about my problem. Okay, so I hope that video was helpful. These are a few ways that you can start the sentences in your letter. Thank you for listening.